So today we will start with fertilization. Fertilization is the fusion of the female gamete and the male gamete, as you know. So the female gamete after ovulation, what was ovulation? Just for a very quick recap, the egg is present in between inside a follicle, and now this is called a Graafian follicle. And when this Graafian follicle bursts and the egg comes out, that is called ovulation. And after the egg has emerged out of the Graafian follicle, the egg is waiting somewhere in the fallopian tube. Egg is waiting somewhere in the fallopian tube, or you can call it the oviduct. Why is it waiting? It's waiting to meet a male sperm so that they can fuse. Okay. So after mating or after copulation, after sexual intercourse, the sperms from the male's body, the sperms enter the female's body from the male's body. They enter the female's body. They are released near the vagina and they enter the female body. And then the sperms make their way across the uterus towards the oviduct or the fallopian tube. Okay. So if I am to draw a very rough sketch, I'll just draw one side of the fallopian tube. Then the sperm is going to enter. It's going to move across the uterus and it's going to move towards the fallopian tube over here. Why? Because the egg is waiting over here. So the sperm comes, meets it, they fuse, and then fertilization occurs. But mind it, it's not so simple. There is not just one sperm that enters. Millions of sperms enter in one go, but not all the sperms are viable enough or are capable enough to fertilize the egg. Why is it not capable enough? Because most of the sperms do not have the necessary enzymes to break into the egg's outer membrane. The egg has shielded itself. The egg has shielded itself with some membranes which is tough to break into. Only very few sperms have the necessary lysozymes. Which can break into this membrane, which can degrade the membrane and break into it. Okay, so there are many sperms that enter the female's body in one go. For example, like not just a million, there are 100 million sperms that enter. And these sperms, they swim across this uterus. They actually, what do? They swim. They swim actively. How do they swim? They have a tail. Look at this. They have a tail. They have a tail which helps in their motility. What is motility? Movement. The tail helps in their motility. But you have to keep in mind, for locomotion, for movement, anything and everything needs energy. Anything needs energy if it's wanting to move, isn't it? So even this sperm has something in its body to give itself, to provide itself with energy. What does it have? You have to, by the way, you have to completely keep in mind, like a picture, the diagram. You have to keep in mind the diagram of a sperm in your head, just like a picture. Okay, there are umpteen number of times that the diagram of sperm has been asked. So you have to completely be very thorough with each and every parts of a sperm. Okay. So basically, if you see the diagram, this is the sperm's head. Okay. This is the sperm's neck portion. Okay. Or middle portion, not neck portion, or you can say it's a middle portion. And then it further thins out and then forms a tail. forms a tail. Okay, so this head portion over here, certain portion over here, this portion is called acrosome. Okay, this portion here is called acrosome. For suppose an egg is present over here, and this egg has a membrane, and this egg's membrane is difficult to enter. So this acrosome has a certain enzyme which is called hyaluronidase. This enzyme breaks into the egg's membrane. It dissolves the wall actually. It dissolves the wall of the egg and enters. Okay. Now, what is going to fuse? The sperm is going to fuse with the egg. But actually no. The sperm completely do not fuse. Only the nucleus of the sperm fuses with the nucleus of the egg. The nucleus of the sperm has half the number of chromosomes, isn't it? Our body chromosomes are 2n, that is 46 chromosomes. Our body cells have 46 chromosomes, but the number of chromosomes reduces or is cut by half in the gametes. So the male gamete has 23 chromosomes, the female gamete has 23 chromosomes. They fuse and then it restores the diploid number of chromosomes. So what is this? These are chromosomes. And where do the chromosomes lie? The chromosomes lie in the nucleus. So if the nucleus fuse with the nucleus, that should do, right? Why does the complete body of sperm need to fuse? Only the nucleus from inside the sperm comes out and fuses with the nucleus of the female gamete. Because nucleus contains the chromosomes and the chromosomes are fusing, not the whole body of the gametes. Okay, the chromosomes are fusing and then it's restoring the diploid number of chromosomes in the embryo. Okay, so if our body has 46 chromosomes, you know, right? Human body has 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs. Both can be said. You can say 23 pairs of chromosomes or 46 chromosomes. Out of those 46 chromosomes, 44 are autosomes. You have read about this. You did not read about this. I haven't taught you chapter 2. But out of 46 chromosomes, 44 chromosomes are autosome. Acha, what are autosome? Autosomes are those chromosomes which control the characteristics of our whole body, except our sex, except our gender, except we are male or we are female, except that rest of the all physical characteristics, your nose, your eye color, your hair texture, every single thing of your body, they are controlled by these chromosomes. And out of 46 chromosomes, 44 are autosomes or normal body chromosomes, normal physical characteristics controlled. Rest of the 2 chromosomes are sex chromosomes which control your gender. For males, it's XY, and for females, it's 44 plus XX. But these somatic chromosomes or autosomes are normal or are same for each and every human being, be it a male or a female. Only these chromosomes get changed for a female and for a male accordingly. I hope I'm clear. Now, for a female, normal body chromosome is 44 plus X. But can it pass all its 46 chromosome in its gamete? Can it do? গ্যামেটে পুরোপুরি ওর 46 ক্রোমোজোম কি পাঠালে হবে? হবে না তো। বিকজ মেল গ্যামেটে যদি 46 ক্রোমোজোম থাকে, ফিমেল গ্যামেটেও যদি 46 ক্রোমোজোম থাকে, এমব্রায়ো হয়ে যাবে 92 ক্রোমোজোম। ইজ দ্যাট নর্মাল? কোনো নর্মাল হিউম্যান বিং কি হতে পারে এত ক্রোমোজোমের? হতে পারে না। তাই জন্য কি করা হয়, গ্যামেটসে ক্রোমোজোম হাফ করে দেওয়া হয়। দ্যাট ইজ ওয়াই each and every human being, when they produce gametes in their reproductive organs, males reproduce their gametes in testes, females produce their gametes in ovaries. Wherever they produce individually, when they produce gametes, they halve their number of chromosomes, so that when they join, it restores the normal chromosome number. So when a female will produce a gamete, how many will it be? How many chromosomes will it be? 46 পেয়ার থেকে কোথায় চলে আসবে? 23 পেয়ার। 46 ক্রোমোজোমস থেকে কোথায় চলে আসবে? 23 ক্রোমোজোমস। 46 ক্রোমোজোম থেকে 23 ক্রোমোজোমস হয়ে যাবে। 44টা হাফ হয়ে 22 হয়ে যাবে। আর দুটো এক্সের মধ্যে একটা এক্স পাঠাবে। দুটো এক্সের মধ্যে একটা এক্স পাঠাবে। সিমিলারলি ফর আ মেল যখন নিজেদের গ্যামেটস বানাবে তখন হাফ করে নেবে। সো 44টা 22 প্লাস এক্সও হতে পারে, 22 প্লাস ওয়াইও হতে পারে। কেন দু রকমের? বিকজ মেলস হ্যাভ টু কাইন্ডস অফ সেক্স ক্রোমোজোম, দে হ্যাভ এক্স অ্যান্ড ওয়াই বোথ। So when they form gametes, it can be 22 plus X, they can be 22 plus Y. Okay? So when a female's 22 plus X and a male's 22 plus X will fuse, a normal human being will form 44 plus XX, and this will be a baby girl. And when a female's 22 plus X and a male's 22 plus Y will combine, one's 22 plus X and one's 22 plus Y, when they will combine, this will also restore the normal chromosome number. It will become 44 plus XY and it will form a baby boy. So this Y chromosome indicates will it be a boy or a girl. I hope I am clear with this. So now this was the sperm, and the sperm has a nucleus as well. This is a nucleus, and over here is sitting what? 22 plus X or 22 plus Y. It has halved already. The chromosome number has halved already because it is a gamete. So when it's a gamete, the chromosome number need to be halved already. Okay, and it's going to fuse with this female gamete, and this female gamete is 22 plus X already. Okay. Also a sperm has a little bit of mitochondria here, and you know the role of mitochondria, you have studied already. Mitochondria helps in the synthesis of ATP or energy. Okay, ATP or energy. So this energy will help in the locomotion of the sperm. Okay, and this tail will also help in locomotion. This tail will move and it will give it direction. Okay, so this is with the functioning of a sperm. So when will the female gamete, you need to know one more thing over here. This egg has been released and it's waiting in the oviduct. Okay, but when does it happen? When does the egg come here? When does the fertilization becomes favorable? Okay, just after ovulation. What was ovulation? Discharging of the egg from the Graafian follicle, that was ovulation. After ovulation, 12th or 13th day after ovulation, 12th or 13th day after ovulation is the most favorable time of the fusion of a female gamete and a male gamete. Okay, just after 13th or 14th day. So couples who are looking forward to conceiving, they consult a doctor and they ask which is the perfect time when a baby can be conceived, when fertilization can occur. Okay, so next I'll move on to how many sperms approach one egg and only one sperm enters. When one sperm enters, when this sperm is successful in entering the egg, what is this called? Impregnation. When one sperm is successful to enter an egg, it's called impregnation. just the nucleus, this is the nucleus, only the nucleus will move into the egg, not the whole body. Only the nucleus will move into the egg, and the egg's nucleus is waiting somewhere over here. This is the egg. The egg's nucleus is waiting somewhere over here. The sperm's nucleus has got into it, and then inside the membrane of the egg, the both the nucleus will fuse, and this will be called fertilization. Okay, I'll just add a very short video, very short clip of video after this, which will make you help visualize the process. Okay, implantation and pregnancy টা বুঝিয়ে দিই, তারপর I'll add that video clip. Okay, so we were here, ধর ঠিক আছে, তো somewhere over here. আচ্ছা, by the way, fertilization এর site বললে what will you write? Where does fertilization occur? Where does the male gamete fuse with the female gamete? It's in the oviduct or the fallopian tube, but if you want to be more exact, you can write ampulla of the fallopian tube or oviduct. Which is the ampulla over here, where it just bends, where the fallopian tube just bends, it's called ampulla. Okay, so after fertilization, during fertilization, there are many sperms which surrounds an egg, but then one sperm enters it. The tail and the rest of the body is left behind. Just the nucleus enters, and both the nucleus fuses together, and this is fertilization. Okay, so after it is fertilized, it is called zygote. After the egg is fertilized, it's called zygote. So the zygote is first one cell, but then it undergoes mitosis. What is mitosis? One cell to two cell, two cell to four cell. This is mitosis. Mitosis is division of cells, continuous division of cells. So this zygote then forms two cells, then it forms four cells, then it forms 8 cells. Okay, then it forms 16 cells, and it goes on. Okay, so when it's rolling down, see, it's rolling down, it's dividing into 2, 4, 8 cells, it's multiplying, it's also rolling down in that process. Where is it rolling down? It's rolling down in the uterus, because over here a thick bedding for the zygote is ready. You know na, endometrium, this is called endometrium. I had told you a thick bedding of tissues is already ready for the zygote to come and sit, get embedded. So while it's multiplying, it's coming down, and when it has reached the uterus, it is already a cell mass. It is already a cell mass of almost 70 to 80 cells, and that is called blastocyst. When it has reached the uterus, it is called blastocyst. Okay, and this kind of blastocyst finally embeds itself. It kind of embeds itself, sits inside the bedding of the uterus. It sits inside the bedding, it embeds itself in the uterus, and during this time some amount of blood loss and spotting is seen in women, because the blastocyst is trying to embed itself. So the tissues are kind of tearing off a little, so a little amount of blood flow is seen, but then it's just normal. This is the kind of embryo, this is the kind of stage, and when you are going to call it an embryo. Before this it was a zygote, then it was a morula, it was a trophoblast. There are various names which are given before it's called an embryo. Zygote was one cell. After it divides into almost 8 to 60, like 7 to 8 to 16 cells, it's called morula, and then it's called trophoblast, and then finally it is called blastocyst when it has already reached the uterus. When it has already reached the uterus, and when it's already sitting down, and when it has embedded itself, when it has embedded itself and when it has grown a little. Actually, it's not called embryo after it reaches the uterus, it's blastocyst still then. But when the blastocyst has grown a little, when the blastocyst has divided even more, 18 to 16 to 32, 32 to 64, 64 to 128, 256, when it has grown even more, for example, when it has grown for a month of after it has fertilized, after it has become a zygote, 3 to 4 weeks after it has become a blastocyst, it's called an embryo. You can hardly compare it with a human being because it just looks like a comma. Then it is called an embryo. It's very small, size of a pea. It's the size of a pea and it looks like a comma. That is called an embryo. And after 4 to 5 weeks, embryo is 3 weeks from fertilization, and 5 weeks from fertilization you can finally see a little bit of heart and blood vessels. You cannot differentiate legs and hands even then. Limbs are formed later on. First and foremost, heart is formed because the embryo needs to breathe, isn't it? So when the embryo sits and gets embedded in this endometrium, when the embryo comes and sits in this endometrium, what is it called? It is called implantation. And when it has implanted itself in the uterus, finally you can say that the woman is pregnant or the woman is in the stage of pregnancy. You can call a woman pregnant only when blastocyst has embedded itself in the uterus. That means when implantation has occurred. How do you say that a woman is pregnant? Actually, when a blastocyst embeds itself, যখন একটা blastocyst এসে এখানে ইউটেরাসে বসে যায়, implantation যখন হয়ে যায়, lot of hormones are secreted. Progesterone, estrogen, HCG hormone, these hormones are secreted a lot in order to take care of this blastocyst or developing embryo and also make the uterus completely feasible and viable for this developing embryo. When the woman takes an urine test, those hormones are found in the urine, especially one hormone which is called HCG hormone. That hormone is found in the urine, and then you can say that this woman is pregnant. Okay, and then finally after that, this uterus keeps on taking care of the developing embryo, and then the embryo becomes a fetus. When do you call an embryo a fetus? After 2 months. When the woman is pregnant for 2 months, then you can call that it's a fetus. And after the fetus is developed, when the limbs are developed, fetus also do not have any limbs. Okay, embryo do not have any limbs, fetus also do not have any limbs. After almost 5 weeks, limbs start growing. The embryo is quite advanced. Okay, after 2 months, limbs start growing. And finally, after the limbs have grown, you can finally see some resemblance with a human being. Finally বোঝা যাবে যে হ্যাঁ এটা একটা হিউম্যানের বাচ্চা, বাট ওটা অনেক টাইম লাগে. Okay, so this was all about implantation and pregnancy. Okay,
your due date is calculated from the first day of your last menstrual period. Conception occurs about 2 weeks from this day, and that's when you're truly considered to be pregnant. During a menstrual cycle, one of your 2 ovaries matures an egg within a follicle. Hormonal surges controlled by your brain then cause 1 and occasionally 2 follicles to release an egg. If both ovaries release an egg, you may have non-identical twins, also known as fraternal twins. Long, finger-like projections sweep the egg into the fallopian tube. The egg travels down the fallopian tube, pushed by tiny hairs, and awaits the arrival of sperm. About a teaspoon's worth of semen enters the vagina, containing roughly 300 million sperm. Less than 100,000 will pass into the cervix to begin their 6-inch journey to the egg. A long, whip-like tail propels each sperm toward the waiting egg. Most sperm will lose their way. Only about 200 sperm successfully reach the egg. Fertilization occurs when one sperm penetrates the egg, combining their genetic material. The sperm and egg each contain 23 chromosomes holding all of the information that determines your child's sex and contributes to the child's genetic makeup, including physical appearance, intelligence, and personality. It's a boy or a girl. You just don't know which yet. Within 24 hours of fertilization, the egg, now called a zygote, divides into 2 cells. The number of cells doubles about every 12 hours as the zygote continues its trek to the uterus. During this early stage, if the cells split into 2 separate groups, instead of remaining attached, you'll be doubly blessed with identical twins. About 3 days after fertilization, the zygote has become a ball of 32 cells resembling a miniature raspberry. A few days later, it reaches the uterus as a ball of roughly 500 cells surrounding a fluid-filled cavity. On day 7, the ball of cells burrows into the uterine wall during a process called implantation. Many women have implantation bleeding or spotting at this time, which occurs about 21 days after a period, before a pregnancy test could even be positive. The cells on the outside of the ball create the yolk sac and the placenta, which nourishes your developing baby. By 38 weeks, the fertilized egg has grown into an infant with more than 2 trillion cells.